Hi kids, it's me, the Grim Kreeper, bringing you today's edition of Juggalo shit. So the reason why the wicked shit appealed to me is because it's horror stories set to rap music, rap being a great format to tell a good horror story. However, it's not the only way to use your auditory faculties to enjoy some wicked shit. So today we're going to be examining the wonderful world of the spoken word and the horrific offerings that it harbors. I'm going to leave a link to everything that I talk about in the description so you can check that shit out down below. And while you're at it, you might as well hit the like and subscribe button. And if you really want me to fuck up your phone screen, you can hit that stupid fucking bell icon, even though that shit is fucking annoying as fuck. Alright, to get into this shit, the first thing that I'm going to offer to you guys, you're probably going to have to pay for. If you're like me, you're a cheap ass and that's some bullshit and you don't want to come out of pocket. But that did not stop me from buying the CD set. I'm talking about Fangoria's Dreadtime stories, which is a 2-volume collection of audio dramas with 5 dramas per CD. The stories range from interesting to actually kind of shitty, if I'm being honest. But it is hosted by the legendary OG Droog himself, Malcolm McDowell. And that guy is just the shit. So, I know I said earlier that I had the shit on CD, but I don't think the CDs are available anymore. It is, however, up on Audible, so if you're an Audible ninja, you can check the shit out there. Next up for y'all, I have Horror Babble, presented by Rue Morgue. Now, if y'all don't know Rue Morgue, that's a magazine for horror and art, culture, and entertainment. Sort of the thinking man's version of Fangoria. Horror Babble themselves are a team of UK voice actors, Ian Gordon and Jennifer Gill. Not to be confused with Kevin Gill, although they are both narrators. And what these guys do are dramatic readings of classic horror literature from the old masters like Poe and H.P. Lovecraft, shit like that, you know? I actually found them when I was looking for an audiobook version of Robert Chambers' The King in Yellow. And after discovering them, it's my opinion that that's pretty much the definitive way to experience the story. I don't give a fuck. They're just that good. So if you like Stephen King's and Dean Koontz, and you want to check out the old masters that inspired those motherfuckers, you could do a lot worse than checking out Horror Babble. Next thing I want to do is give a shout out to the ninja Devin. Alright? This kid runs a YouTube channel called HorrorTube, where he himself does dramatic readings of the wicked shit. Now, what's cool about that is he actually reached out to Juggalos looking for submissions. And I was going to make this fucking video anyway, so that was just straight up Dark Carnival serendipity right there. So I want you all to go show him some love, because he's a down-ass motherfucker. And be on the lookout for a contribution from yours truly right here. Yeah, that's right, bitch. Bet you didn't know I write spooky shit. Well, I do, motherfucker. I'm spooky as fuck, bitch. All right, so he's got that channel popping off, and I'm paying very close attention to it because clearly it's right up my motherfucking alley. All right? So, the last thing that I have for you is the grandpappy of them all. I'm talking about vintage horror radio dramas presented by the Super Ninjas over at Relic Radio. See, back in the day, if your great-grandpappy and great-grandmammy needed to get a little bit of that wicked shit fix, they pretty much only had 2 options. They could pay a nickel to the local theater and go down and watch Lon Chaney Sr. accost some Parisian hottie, or they could go and hug their desk-sized radio waiting for these programs of wicked vintage deliciousness. This was actually my introduction to the world of audio horror. There were a variety of programs that ran from the 1930s up to the 1980s. Shit like The Witch's Tale, and CBS Mystery Theater, and Macabre, and my personal favorite, Lights Out with Arch Obler. Just listen to this introduction.
Lights out, everybody. This is the witching hour. The hour when dogs howl and evil is let loose on a sleeping world. listen to Lights Out.
Now that's fresh as fuck. So this style is pretty much the forerunner to the EC horror comics of the 1950s, like The Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt. This is who those guys were swagger jacking. And the content itself can actually get like just as violent as the shit you would find in that or any other media. It's also interesting to note that occasionally you'll see voice work done by talents from the likes of Peter Lorre, Boris Karloff, and Vincent Price. So if you're an old school horror hound and you like all them vintage movies, I know I do, you're really only you're missing like the scope of their legendary careers by not checking that shit out. All right, kids, so there you have it. Once again, my name is Kreeper, your resident horrorcore lifestyle guru and unprosecuted soiled panty thief. Have a good day. I love y'all. Leave me the fuck alone. The soundtrack itself is a veritable who's who of the genre up to that point, with the one and only Isham doing the lead in, as well as the video for Morty's theme, which I'll leave a link to in the description. There's also appearances by the Flatliners, the Gravediggers, and the... fuck! Fuck! What are you looking at, bitch? The soundtrack itself is a veritable who's who of the genre up to that point, with the lead-in... A handful of obscure artists also make... Mommy, why? There's also appearances by the Flatliners, the Gravediggers, as well as the Juggalo classic Dead Body Man by ICP. Not as per... The soundtrack is a veritable who's who of the genre up to that point, with the lead-in being done by the one and only Isham. Put a fucking dick in your mouth. There's a handful of more obscure artists that are also featured on the album, including a ninja named Infrared, Half Pit, Half Dead, which was like a would-be horror... I can't do anything right. And I cut my teeth on that with Overkill's Halloween Slasher. This is not a very in-depth game. It's not like... fuck! Fuck a dick! Fuck a fucking dick! Fuck! The plot cards string together in any order, basically to construct a scenario, no matter how absurd, on how you're going to kill this motherfucker. This could range from skinning him alive to a dark cabin, to implying that you're going to fuck him to death. I know that in my last film... Fuck! Next thing we're going to get into. This fucking mask is suffocating me!